That's it. Bueno, buenos días todos. Hoy estamos acá con 3 institutos muy interesantes. Estamos acá con International House Cape Town, con Gavin, y con Mary, de International House Galway en Irlanda. Y estamos acá con Paul, que está trabajando con International House Belfast en Irlanda del Norte. Los 3 sitios me parece que son increíbles. A mí amo los 3. He estado en los 3 y amo los 3. Me parece unas cosas, unos sitios, wow. A mí me encantaría ir a estudiar en todos. Pero bueno, creo que más adelante me gusta, sí, más adelante pronto tomo cursos en esos sitios. Acá, lo que ven acá es Cliffs of Moher, que está en Irlanda. Que está acá, lo que ven acá es el Atlántico. Y esta imagen acá es Chance Causeway, que está en Irlanda del Norte. Un sitio increíble donde grabaron varios episodios de Game of Thrones. Y lo que ven acá es Cape Town. Y acá, lo que ven acá arriba es Cliffs of Table Mountain, sorry. Table Mountain, los sitios no son increíbles. Hablando un poco más sobre el Instituto Nórdico, yo creo que creo que la mayoría de las personas de ustedes conocen a nosotros, pero voy a contar un poco más sobre nosotros. Un segundito. Acá. Mi nombre es Jörgen Sjöberg. Y soy el dueño del Instituto Nórdico, una empresa que fundé hace varios años, en el año 2007. Nosotros trabajamos con varias universidades del mundo. Tenemos un gran enfoque en enviar, sí, en el norte de Europa, más como Suecia, Dinamarca, Finlandia, Noruega, y también trabajamos con universidades en Irlanda. También trabajamos con varios países en el mundo. En total, en este momento, estamos trabajando con 27 países. Incluso, si uno quiere enseñar un idioma como árabe, o mandarín, o japonés, se puede hacerlo a través de nosotros. Aquí en Colombia enseñamos varios idiomas, unos idiomas que no son tan comunes, diría yo. Acá en Colombia enseñamos sueco y noruego. Si uno quiere certificar el idioma sueco, se puede hacerlo a través de nosotros, con exámenes más FedEx. Y acá en Colombia ayudamos a las personas con el trámite, aplicar la visa, más de todo como cuáles son los documentos que necesita para la visa como tal. Y también tenemos traductores oficiales. Si uno quiere traducir un documento de español a inglés o español a sueco, lo podemos ayudar. Y bueno, acá son nuestros datos. Estamos ahí en Instagram. Yo sé que varias personas de pronto se conocen a nosotros a través de Instagram. También estamos en Facebook. Y acá están nuestros datos. Ahí del teléfono, que están 301-517-6511. Y eso es. Y bueno, nuestra asesoría como tal es gratuita. Nosotros no cobramos nada como tal de los estudiantes. Entonces, nuestra asesoría como tal es completamente gratuita. Entonces, acá, como comentaba, acá estamos con Javier. Oye, well, it's the wrong name here. Gavin. It's not Javier Arias. It's Gavin. I'm really sorry about that. I didn't know why. Okay, so it's Gavin. I'm very, very sorry about that. But you're the one on the photo. And then we got here, it's Mary. Y también está Paul de Belfast en la imagen mío. Entonces voy a dejar a ustedes con Mary, que va a contar un poco más sobre Galway, sobre International House Galway, que es un sitio increíble. Entonces te voy a dejar la presentación a ti ahora, Mary.
Thank you, Jürgen. Can you stop sharing your screen and I'll start sharing mine? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. Can I ask you, where are you from? Are you from Colombia? Which part of Colombia? Would you like to write in the chat box the city where you are from? For example, we have from Cali. Wow, okay. Yopal, okay. Facatativa, is that how you pronounce it? Zipaquira, Bogota, wow. Very welcome. Excellent. So can I continue in English? Is that okay? Are you happy for me to continue in English?
I think both are okay. If you would like to do it in Spanish, Mary, fantastic. If not English, you choose.
What about what about you guys? What do you think? Is it okay to continue in English, or do you want me to speak in Spanish? English is okay?
Okay, yes, they say English is okay here. So yeah. Okay,
great. Excellent.
Let's do it
some practice anyhow. It's good to have a little practice, isn't it?
Yeah,
so I'll start sharing my screen. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our background, International House. Can you see behind me? You can see a map of all the International House schools. This is an example of another. This is the map here. Can you see that map? This is International House World Organization. You can see there are centers all over the world. Of course, Jürgen has told you we today are from Ireland, Northern Ireland and Cape Town, but you can see there are lots of other International House schools around the world. In South America, you can see there are some in as well in your part of the world. We have in Lima, for example, or Montevideo. We have in North America, we have in Middle East, China, Australia, and a lot of them are in Europe, as you can see, many schools in Europe, in Italy, in Spain, and so on. So over 160 schools around the world. But this was started 67 years ago in 1953 in Cordoba, Spain, by this man and woman, John and Brita Haycraft. John was a graduate of the University of Oxford, and he and Brita, his wife, who's from Sweden, went to Cordoba in 1953 to have an experience to write about Spain, and they also started to teach English. So they set up a classroom in their house, and they started teaching English in their school, which was called Casa Internacional, or International House in English. And this school still exists today, and it's a very famous school in Spain. And John and Brita had mostly, their students were from Cordoba, and this, you can see that they were teaching in their living room, I think, in their apartment. That was their first classroom. And then they returned to London, to England, and they continued to set up and widen the network of schools. They opened International House London, and then other International House schools opened in different cities, for example, in Libya and in Italy and in Portugal, for example. But John's ideas and his vision, or his mission, the idea of excellence in teaching, excellence in teacher training, and also the promotion of international understanding through learning of languages. So John started the first ever English language teacher training course. And this course, the International House Teacher Training course, became the CELTA course, which is the most recognized teacher training course in the world, the Cambridge CELTA. And this is the course that our teachers have all taken in Cape Town, in Belfast, and in Galway. We also train teachers. So we train teachers and we train teachers for our own schools, and we train teachers for other schools around the world. So when you come to study at International House, we make you promises regarding your course, promises regarding your teachers who are all very well qualified, promises regarding administration, promises about your accommodation. So all the things that you need to make your course a fun, successful one where you will learn English, we help you to do this. The promises that we make to our clients are checked regularly by inspectors. So Cape Town, Belfast, and Galway, we are regularly inspected by external inspectors to check that our level of teaching, our standards of teaching are high, continue to be high, our standards of accommodation are high, our standards of administration are high. We make similar promises to our staff, our teaching staff, our admin staff, everybody as well. All conditions are inspected when we have our regular inspection. Of course, now, since COVID, a lot of our teaching has continued online, and we offer teacher training courses and English courses in live online context as well. So our online lessons and our online training is also inspected. Okay, so what these promises are, of course, what we will tell you about, but also what we will keep when you come and study at one of our centres. All right. So let me tell you a little bit first about how we are leaders in teaching and teacher training. So all our teaching staff, all our training staff are qualified at CELTA or Delta or master's level. Our teaching staff and our admin staff also take a lot of International House courses to become further trained, for example, in customer relations or in, for example, working with children. There are different courses that we can take. All our teachers are regularly observed. We have very regular professional development seminars. We have lots of conferences, both face-to-face and online every year. So our teaching staff is always receiving training and development. Okay. So as Jürgen told you, you are going to meet Belfast, International House Belfast with Paul. You're going to hear a little bit about Galway with me, and you're going to hear a little bit about Cape Town with Gavin. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to scoop down past Paul. Yeah, Paul, do you want me to? I'll start with Galway.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
great, Mary.
Okay, apologies. I'm just scooping down there. So Galway, where I am now today, in our school in Galway, we're a small centre. We're a family-run business. We are an exam centre, so we have IELTS and we have Cambridge exams running here at the school, and we are also a teacher training centre. So we're in the city centre of Galway, which you're going to see some photos of in a few minutes. So I suppose what we are trying to do is to help you, our students, to be the best they can be. And we want to help you become independent as learners of English. We love to promote our culture as well, because that's why our students come to Galway. And we love to have a family atmosphere where we know everybody and everybody knows us. So we know all our students by name. We're situated, as Jürgen said, on the Atlantic coast. We're called the cultural capital of Ireland because a lot of what we do in Galway is related to music, theatre, dance, poetry, and we have different types of festivals. We have the Arts Festival, we have the Oyster Festival, we have even a festival where you can meet a new husband or wife, a matchmaking festival in September. So if you're looking for a husband or a wife, maybe if you come to Galway in September, you will be able to find one at our festival. And it's very safe and friendly. It's a small city. I'm going to show you some photos. This is a photo of what's called the Long Walk. That's about a 10-minute walk from where we are here in the school. It's situated on Galway Bay, so you can see the city of Galway is on Galway Bay on the Atlantic. And this is typical architecture from Galway. This is one of our students' favorite visits. It's in Connemara. It's in the National Park of Connemara. And it's about 1 hour from the city of Galway. Our students love seeing the countryside, and we meet a lot of sheep on the way. And this is the beach at Galway, about a 20-minute walk from the city centre, which is really, really popular for our students to go walking in the morning, in the evening, and even to go swimming at times. So that's kind of a summary of Galway. As you can see, there's lots of water. I'm going to pass you over now to Paul. So I'll just slide back up here. Paul, is that okay? And
Yeah.
you can take over and tell me when you want me to.
Yeah,
Excuse
I think
me. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So, hi guys. My name is Paul McMullen I'm the director of International House Belfast. And like Mary's school, like Avon's school, like most IH schools, we're a family-run school. I run the school with my wife. And yeah, I'm just here to tell you a little bit about Belfast. I was actually I told Jürgen a few weeks ago, when we were chatting, I was in Bogota and Cali a few years ago, launching a social responsibility competition with partners we have there called El Clavo Periódico, the magazine. So, and I completely fell in love with your country. I just thought it was amazing. And I ended up in the magazine, on radio in Colombia, and also on Colombian television, which was the most incredible experience. So yeah, just you guys have a wonderful country, but I also noticed beautiful similarities between Colombia and Northern Ireland, the people, the friendliness, the atmosphere, the shared histories, and the really, really positive and forward-thinking future that both countries have. So I'll just tell you a little bit about Belfast. Like Jürgen, we started in 2007, and we have a range of courses for adults, a range of courses for children. And if you just go up one, Mary.
Sorry.
Yeah, so our thing is about communicating and creating. Again, like all the international house schools. And our vision on the next slide is just, well, our vision is to take people, when they join the school, they're in one place. And when they leave the school, we want them to be in a better place, whether that be language skills or more confident, or with greater prospects for employment, or just that you've had a good time. So our vision is to provide people with the opportunity to create better lives for themselves and others, locally and globally, through improved communication skills. Okay. So we don't want to just teach English. We don't want to just train teachers. We want to make things better for us here in Belfast and for everybody in the world, just by communicating and creating. Okay. So just a few pictures of what you'll see when you're in Belfast, if you just drop one. This is just a 1-minute walk from the school. This is the Botanical Gardens in Belfast City Centre, and some of our students on their social programme. The next one is the world famous Titanic exhibition centre. So some people know and some people don't. The Titanic was actually built in Belfast before it sailed to Southampton in England and then left for New York. So this is the #1 visitor attraction in the world currently. And it's an amazing place, And yeah, the Titanic sank, but we always say it was okay when it left Belfast. So that's another favorite of our student visits. And the next one is the Chance Causeway. So this is our UNESCO site of outstanding natural beauty. And just about 1 hour from the city centre up on the north coast. It's an incredibly beautiful place, and a lot of our Irish myth and legend and folklore are all centered around this this natural monument that we have. I think that's my last slide. I'm not sure yet, Mary. And yeah, if you come to Belfast, we have a population of about 500,000. 500,000 people. It's nice. It's small to medium sized. We have more festivals in Belfast than any other city in Europe, and it's easy to travel around the rest of Ireland. It's easy to make your way around Belfast. The people are incredibly friendly. They will talk to you a lot. Talking is something that we do very well. And I always say that the most important thing that we have in Northern Ireland for visitors is the people that we have here, because we say the people make the place. And we may not have the Statue of Liberty or Big Ben, but really you don't learn English from looking at the Statue of Liberty or standing looking at Big Ben. You learn English from people talking to you. And people in Belfast will talk to you until you don't know what to do with yourself. So that's just a little bit about Belfast. And any questions, fire them in the chat, or we can chat generally afterwards. And I'll fire you over to Gavin from Cape Town.
Thank you, Paul. So here we go. Oh, somebody put that up for me, did they? Well, thank you very much for that. So everybody, well, it's nice to be with you from a very rainy Cape Town day, which is our first for the season, which is really nice. But yeah, International House Cape Town, just like the rest of the guys from Belfast and from Dublin, we are very much a teacher-centric type of organisation, and we love our students to have lots of fun as well when they're at these destinations. Because you come to learn English as well as come to have fun, and that's the main thing about us. We've been open since November, so our COVID-19 cases are really good and have been really good, because we had a very strict lockdown to begin with. But as I say, we're open, and students are coming in quite nicely. Next slide, thanks. There you go. Okay, so there you go. A little bit about what's going on. One of the leading language schools and centres in South Africa, established and owner-run. I'm one of the owners of International House since 2008. We offer a unique personal study program designed in collaboration with one of our other International House schools. And we're based in the city centre of Cape Town itself. Next slide. There you go. That's where we actually are, where the red arrow is, in what they call the city bowl, with a beautiful backdrop of Table Mountain behind us. Next slide. So, as I said before, people come to Cape Town not just to learn English, to also enjoy the fantastic scenery that we have, the safaris that we have, the amazing bungee jumping that we have, the beaches that we have. But as I say, Jürgen said the water's cold. That's right, the water is cold, and all the surfers love to wear wetsuits. And I think the wetsuits are probably to scare away the sharks that are around there as well. But yeah, no, South Africa's got an amazing diversity. As you can see there, not just the English that we've spoken about, there's so many other things to do. And as I did mention before, great white cage shark diving is one of the favorites. The bungee jump, highest bungee jump in the world. But Cape Town is just a wonderful place to be. So it's join the fun in Cape Town. And you know, we hope to see you at some stage in this beautiful city. We are open for business, and you know, you can get any information from me or from Jürgen, who's been to Cape Town, and he'll tell you all his experiences. But have a lovely time, and lovely to speak to you all. And I love Colombia as well. I've been many, many times. My favorite place is Medellin. Anyway, thank you, Jürgen. It's over to you.
Well, very, very good. As I said in the beginning, all destinations we got here today, all the cities we got here today are very, very interesting. And Mary, I remember I passed by, I think it's a hotel on the way down to the Cliffs of Moher, where I got this matchmaking place. Is that right?
Yes, in September there is a matchmaking festival, which actually lasts for 1 month, 4 weeks. Wow. So it's great fun. Yeah, lots of fun.
You can find yourself quite a few wives and husbands in a month, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, 1 a week. Yeah.
So you got quite some time to meet someone, about a month. Wow, amazing. So Mary, how did you meet your husband? Did you meet him on these matchmaking ones or not?
I actually met my partner in a jazz club in Seville, but that's another story.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it's quite interesting. So no Tinder. We don't need Tinder in Ireland. You can go to matchmaking 1 month event. It's quite interesting.
I think in Ireland you need Guinness and a lot of interest in going to bars and meeting people and having fun.
We do it old school. Old school.
Old school, yeah.
Yeah, because now the Guinness, well, I think we had Guinness here in Colombia during some time, but now they're not importing it any longer, but it's such a lovely beer. But it's better to have it in Ireland. We have it.
I've tried Guinness once in an Irish bar in Bogota, and it was good. It wasn't bad, but I have to say it's better here.
It's a bit different. I would say the Guinness doesn't like to travel, I've heard.
No, my father worked for Guinness, so I know a lot about the beer production, and it doesn't travel very well.
And Gavin, you're in a very interesting place at the moment. Gavin, can you hear us? Gavin, I think he's busy.
Unmute yourself, Gav.
Yeah, Gavin. I'm
very sorry about that.
Yeah. Gavin, you're in a very interesting place at the moment. Where are you?
I'm actually with my teachers, and we're actually doing a gin tasting. So I can just show you a little bit about it. There we are. You see, there they all are, already waiting for me. We're in this beautiful gin tasting distillery. You can see there at the back. There's the guys there, and all the beautiful gin. So that's why I'm a little bit flushed. My face is a little bit red. So yeah, we're having a Saturday afternoon get together with our staff. So
Yeah. Because there are hardly any COVID restrictions in Cape Town at the moment, and you're receiving a lot of students, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have strict COVID restrictions with regards to social distancing, wearing of the masks, sanitizing, hand sanitizing. Our schools are open, but class numbers are down because of the social distancing. But yeah, no, it's really for us. It's just business as normal.
Yeah,
But being very aware of the social distancing aspect of things.
And something I really like about Cape Town, like you can travel down to the Cape of Good Hope, as I said, where you can find you got some penguins on some beaches, on the beach down to the Getter. And another thing I really love about South Africa is the way that you can travel, you can go up on a road called the Garden Route, where you got many beaches on the way up. And then you get up to Johannesburg, which is also a very different city, with a lot of things that happened. And also, Russ, it's got, I would say, like South Africa is a country of a huge variety of different cultures and a lot of different tribes. And something I also did when I was there, I went up to Kruger National Park for some safari, and we saw most of the animals. We saw lions, we saw elephants, and you actually can enter with your own car. You can rent a car, or you can go with your own car and enter the park and stay there for about 3 or 4 days, and it's for very good value. For example, you can see most of the animals there that you can see in Serengeti in Kenya, or in Tanzania. But you can see them in this place, and it's for very, very good value. I can't remember the price, but it's for very, very good value. Gavin, remember how much is it to enter the Kruger National Park?
I think it's about 200 Rand, which is about, sort of divide that by 14 and it gives you sort of dollars. So it's not too bad at all. Yeah.
So it's about
yeah, it is very cheap. Yeah.
It's a very, very good value.
Very cheap, but of course, we to be honest with you, Jürgen, we have closer safaris that you don't have to have the malaria that you don't have to take the malaria tablet. So the garden route is where my students go, and they can go there for the weekend.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned before, we've got our wildlife safaris down in. We actually nickname it, Jürgen, the Cape of Good Dope. I mean, Hope, the Cape of Good Hope, not dope. And of course, there we have the penguins, the great white sharks, the whales that come in different seasons, and whenever you can swim with the penguins. So we have the safari on land with the land animals, and then we have the safari at sea as well with the sea animals. So yeah, it's a great place, and it's very reasonably priced as well. And that's one of the big things about South Africa. If you want to come, especially from places like Colombia, where we've got a week round, so the money goes a lot further. It's not as far as going to somewhere like Australia. So, and we are very open to getting different students in from Colombia, but unfortunately, visa's quite difficult to get. Got to go through Venezuela, but that's just one of those things, and a lot of people do it. But there's a lot of Colombians. There's a big Colombian community here in Cape Town as well. A lot of them are my friends. So.
And then you go to vineyards quite close to Cape Town as well, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, about 480 of them. Yes.
Only 480?
only, yeah. I'm making my way around most of them to try and make sure that I'm doing the quality control, the test control.
Oh, well, so yeah, fantastic, Gavin. And Paul, well, Belfast, a city with so much history. And I went when I was in Ireland in January. I went up to Belfast just over the weekend, and well, if you're a big fan of Game of Thrones, wow, it's a place to go. And another thing, I didn't do when I was in Belfast. It is quite famous. It's called the Black Taxi Tour. A black taxi tour. Paul, what is a black taxi tour?
Black taxi tours are history tours, political history tours, Jürgen, in the west of the city, in the main. Black taxis during our own troubles, from 69 and then our peace process in 1995. But the black taxis kept the west of the city open, and they actually ran like buses. So like in most other cities or in Belfast now, you have to book a taxi, they come, they pick you up and deliver you. But the black taxis ran like buses. You just wave one down, you get into the taxi with other people who are going to different places. So that's where the history of the black taxi tour started. So the tours now take you into the west of the city, up to the peace wall. You can write your own message of peace on the peace wall. There are messages there from the Dalai Lama when he visited, from Bill Clinton, and from many, many other very dignitaries. But these are all framed off, but you can write your own message, and we do the black taxi tour probably once a week with our students, and they get to write their own messages about, some of them say, like Colombia, I hope we find the peace that you guys found, and lots of very beautiful messages to read up there. And you'll get the history of those years from the nationalist side, and also from the loyal side of the community. So you get a kind of idea from both backgrounds in the political struggle. So it's very, very interesting, and one of our students' favorites. When we first opened the school, we were almost reluctant to show too much of that side of things, but when you come to Belfast, you want, we say you want a full fat Belfast. You know, you don't want the diet version. You want to cope with all the sugar, not the diet Coke. You want to see Belfast for where we were 30 years ago and where we are now. So yeah, it's a very interesting tour.
Yeah, Gavin, no problem. I can see you got going for a gene tour now. No problem, Gavin. Great to have you here with us today, and enjoy the.
I'm just glad. I don't want anybody to think that all we do is drink alcohol. In Belfast, we actually have a little beach bar in our courtyard, and we have our own brewery.
Fantastic. There you go. Good stuff. Okay, Jürgen, take care. Speak to you soon.
Take care, Gavin. See you soon, Gavin. Wow,
Thanks,
great.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
Thank you
Gav.
very much.
Bye, Gav.
Cheers,
Bye,
bye.
Gavin.
Natalia has a question, Jürgen.
Okay. Let's
Natalia,
have a look.
do you want to go ahead? Do you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yes, thank you very much. It's going to be a very quick question. It's very interesting what you're talking about. I am very excited, very interesting about all these courses. And my question is, where can I find more detailed information about it? Can I ask, how can I do that? Because I would like to know more detailed information about the dates or the prices courses. So is that in your website or?
Yes, you can get that information from our website, Natalia, or via Jürgen. Either is a possibility. But we have your details now. We have your email, so we can send you, following this webinar, we can send you all our information about our brochures and our prices. Okay.
I would appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Very good, Natalia. We were here to help you, Natalia. So send me a message after the webinar, and we are more than happy to help you. And another thing, I was looking at Belfast. So all the walls, I think that separated Belfast. Am I like separate Belfast back in the troubles? Am I right, Paul?
Yeah, it separated different parts of the city. So it comes down through the west of the city, and Belfast is how do you put it? How can such friendly people have had so much trouble in their political history? Because you know, I grew up in Belfast, and it was an amazing place to grow up. But in some areas where communities lived, well, now in modern times, Belfast is one big community, but then it was divided. So the peace walls kept the peace at night. So it kept cars from different areas of the city and stuff. So it was just to protect people really at night, where they could close things off in the evenings. But now, after all that history, it's one of our biggest tourist attractions, which for someone who grew up in those times is an amazing thing, that you can make something which was from fairly traumatic experiences, such as the black taxis and the peace walls, and now these are apart from the Titanic, they're probably the favorite tourist attraction. So it's amazing how far we have come, and how far Colombia have come as well, in those short kind of, I always say it's short, but I'm getting older, so 95 is, I suppose, quite a long time ago now. But it's still a short time, relatively speaking, in the history of a city, which is now reinventing itself. That's what I said at the beginning when I visited Bogota, and especially Cali, where I saw so many similarities between what's happening here in Belfast and what's happening in Colombia, with young people finally getting their chance to meet their potential. So many creative spaces, we met a lot of people, entrepreneurs, environmental entrepreneurs and filmmakers, and shared workspaces, and just, there was a real beautiful atmosphere that anything is possible. And that's very similar to what we had in Belfast just a few short years ago. So I think the connections between Colombia and Northern Ireland in the past were for the wrong reasons, but for now are for really beautiful, really energetic, and really nice reasons, like a really nice connection, I think.
Now that's very, very interesting what you're talking about, and in particular during this time that we're living in Colombia, when it comes to these youth protests, and that you can learn a lot from what you did in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And I think it comes a lot from investment that helped you. And Mary, well, Ireland for me, I don't know, I just love it. It's such a green island. Me being from Sweden, I traveled in January last year. I went from Sweden to Ireland, and well, in January it's a bit, I was a little bit dark, a little bit grey in Sweden in January in Stockholm, and then I got to Ireland and it's green. People are very happy. And I just love it. It's like the music you got. It's, I don't know, I just love it. And you got also very beautiful historic sites, if I'm not wrong. So you spoke one of a national park, but you also got other very interesting places in Ireland that you should visit, apart from the Guinness Museum, of course, which is a lovely museum. Talking about it, other places with Mary, that you feel, oh, these places are amazing to visit.
Well, you showed a picture. You showed the pictures of the different. You saw the Chance Causeway, which is amazing in the north. In the south of Ireland, we have very near Galway, we have the cliffs, which you showed a picture of earlier. This is a UNESCO heritage site as well. And this is one of our students' favorite visits, I have to say. It's spectacular and it's really amazing to get, you almost feel like you're going to the end of the world. And it's just the Atlantic in front of you. One of our favorite visits as well is a visit to the islands, the Aran Islands. So there's 3 small islands off the coast of Galway, and you can take a boat 2 minutes from here, and you go around, you go out the bay go into the Atlantic Ocean and visit the islands where people still speak the old language of Ireland, Gaelic or Irish, and you will hear Irish spoken on these islands among the people who live there. You also hear Irish spoken in different other parts of Galway as well, near the city, in the villages near the city, in an area called Connemara.
There's bars in the islands, Mary? Are there still bars?
The Aran Islands are populated and they have bars, and yes, you can go there for a day, you can stay there for the weekend, and you can visit a beautiful 5,000-year-old prehistoric fort, which is amazing. You can rent a bike. There
are no cars.
Yeah. There are cars, but if you're only going for the day, you know, you can rent a bike or walk.
I thought there were no cars still. I thought it was buses.
There are some cars, but not many. Just the local people have cars. Yeah.
And I believe on one of these islands, they did one of the shots for Star Wars. Am I wrong?
Yeah, parts of Star Wars, different parts were filmed in different areas in Ireland. Yeah, in around Galway and in Kerry in the southwest.
Yeah, no, it's such an amazing place, like Northern Ireland, and then with Ireland. Now today we've been here with the International House down in South Africa. Well, we're here to help you. Please send us a message on WhatsApp, and we will help you out. We will tell you about the prices and when it comes to the visa process. And as I said, we don't charge anything for our services, so it's for free. So yes, here to help. Any some last word from you, Mary? Why should you go to Ireland, and why should you come to Galway?
I think you should come to Galway if you like meeting a lot of people, because Galway people are very, very curious. If you like having a little bit of an adventure, if you like to experience traditional Irish culture, and if you want to grow a little bit and develop yourself, because you can also, while you're studying, you can also work. So you can gain some work experience while studying, and that's a good benefit for people who want to grow as socially as well as in terms of language learning. So you can gain some useful experience here.
And when it comes to Paul, something I think interesting with Belfast that you're studying in UK actually when you are in Northern Ireland, so you can travel to UK when you study in Northern Ireland, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you can travel to rest of UK, but you can also travel to rest of Ireland as well. So if you come into Belfast on a UK visa, a flight to London is about 55 minutes. So you can very easily visit London, Manchester, Liverpool, or go to the South Coast, Bristol. But you can also travel like an amazing trip, and Mary knows this very well, you know, from Belfast round the north coast to the Chance Causeway, across the Derry, in the Donegal, down through the west coast, the Galway. You can do the whole coast in it doesn't take that much. I mean, you could spend 3 weeks doing it, but you can do it in 1 week and see kind of the major the major kind of tourism attractions. But often the best part of doing that trip is not getting to your destination. It's about the journey. You know, it's about the road where there's nobody else. And, you know, you get to stop and stand on a cliff and you're the only person there looking over the Atlantic Ocean with the next country's America. So I think it's Northern Ireland's a really nice entry point for UK and for Ireland also.
Another thing which is very good when it comes to Ireland and Northern Ireland is in Ireland, you got Ryanair, was founded in Ireland, Mary?
Correct. It was founded in the 80s, I think.
So to travel around in Europe, to travel from Ireland, Northern Ireland is quite cheap actually. And that in general, talking about Europe, you can find, I don't know, Dublin to London. How much is that, Mary, a flight?
You can get a flight maybe for under 100 euros.
Yeah, under 100 euros. Or even I've seen like 10 pounds, 15 pounds, crazy cheap flights. Of course, you can't, like here in Colombia, you've got Viva Air, which is all, I think, Ryanair's are the owners of Viva Air. I think it's like 49% is Ryanair. So that is another thing which I really like about Europe and travel around. It's so cheap. And look here in Colombia, it's quite expensive to travel abroad, but looking at Europe and Dublin to travel outside, travel around Europe is for very good value. And for the Colombians, they can travel to the Schengen area without any visa, which is also very convenient. And as Paul said, well, in Belfast, well, you got UK in front of you as well. So you can travel around the UK. That's something I really like about it. So, Paul, any last words?
Yeah, and I think Belfast offers something quite unique. As I said, we're a city who have been reinventing ourselves, and we've become the #1 venue for business conferences in UK, but also just 2019, I think, we were the #1 place to visit for, I can't remember the name of the travel magazine, Lonely Planet. Mm-hmm. So we went from not having any tourism to being #1 destination inside 25 years, but we were still the only language tool in the city. So tourism is still quite new for us. And I think every single international visitor that we have to Belfast and Northern Ireland and Ireland in general, but every single visitor we have will make a difference to where our city goes. If you go and visit London, nobody cares. You know, you're just another foreign visitor. When you come and visit Belfast, people are still incredibly proud that you chose to come to Belfast instead of going to, you could go anywhere. You could go to Bournemouth or New York or Sydney, or the world's your oyster. So people here are still very proud when they find out that you chose Belfast to learn English rather than some other city in the rest of the world. So I think every single visitor we have here makes a difference. They come, they make a positive difference. They leave, but the difference they make will be where we get to on our positive spiral in the city. So I think that's something very unique that we have.
We got a question here, Mary. Do you know if International House has a sort of scholarship or volunteering program?
Not as such. There isn't a volunteering program, but students can volunteer in the different cities. Like they could do some volunteer work in Galway, for example. They could do some volunteer work in Belfast, and that is possible. Here in Galway, they can work and get paid for it as well as studying, but there isn't an overall volunteer program in International House.
Well, what we were thinking about, Jürgen, and maybe we can develop this further, myself, you, Mary, and Gavin afterwards, is for all the people who joined the call, maybe we can come up with a short competition and offer a prize of either a short online scholarship or a free week or two that they can add some weeks. You know, if we give a free week and they book another 3. So maybe we can organize a small competition for these guys who've spoken to us today. And we can launch that maybe next week. Just something simple and a nice prize of a free week in Galway or a free week in Belfast or a free week in Cape Town.
I think, yeah, that would be great. I think, yeah, we send out after this webinar, we send out an email to everybody and have a small competition. And then I think that, that's a good idea. I think we didn't mention it in the beginning of the webinar, but yes, that is something we can do as well. Good.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, so yeah, that's something we can do. So, well, all of you that have been with us here today, thanks a lot. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Gavin, as well, being with us here today from all these amazing places around the world. And as I said, we're here to help. We don't charge anything for our services. So please send in a WhatsApp message and then we can help you out with the visa process, the application process. And after this webinar, we'll send an email about a prize draw. You say that, Mary?
Yeah, like a competition for and a prize. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we send out now after the webinar. So great to have you all today. Hope you have a good weekend and hope to see you soon. Okay.
Have a great weekend. Lovely to meet you.
Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.